Hi Leo, here's a general look at your solar chart for December 2013, and every year at this time the Sun comes into the area of another fire sign, and so that boosts your energies as a native of the sign of Leo, which is also a fire sign. So until the 22nd, the energy is lighting up an area to do with, it's quite young energy, it's spontaneous energy, and in fact some of you could be having more connection with children and other youngsters, young people, and be in environments which are a bit more entertaining, more even self-enjoyment. But there's going to be self-indulgent, I meant, but there's going to be more chance for enjoyment, and you being more, feeling a little bit more center stage for some reason. And yeah, I mean, this is the house of fun. But it is, as I say, also connected to young people, children, and romance, romantic partners. Until the 5th, discussions could be very much revolving around family matters or the domestic setup or property, or indeed be with family members directly. And you will maybe be speculating a bit, you may be bouncing ideas of others, you may be mulling things over. It's quite a sensitive area, it's quite an emotional area, and you could be considering the past, you could be considering history, a legacy or tradition of some kind, and whatever is going on, feelings do tend to be nearer the surface. But there's a lot going on in and around HQ, wherever that is for you. Quite a busy time mentally. And then from the 5th, Mercury moves into the same area as the Sun, this more childlike energy, stimulating your inner child, really encouraging you to play around with creative ideas. So yeah, and you could be continuing to speculate, but being a little bit freer with that, because your creative juices will be flowing, and Mercury here will help you to come across in an articulate way, maybe thinking innovatively about something, and but also trickster energy is quite strong with this one. So you may be the subject of a prank of some kind, or indeed you could be the one that's doing it. But because this is an area to do with romance as well, you and somebody special in your life, whether that's a child or whether that's a romantic partner, could be having quite a lot of sort of information exchange, quite a lot of maybe bavadery, that kind of thing. Venus has begun a mega transit of Capricorn there until next March. So this is a very practical area of your solar chart, Leo. It's to do with work conditions, employment, everyday chores, and also health. So Venus's tendency to balance will help to balance out things in those sorts of areas. You could have, you know, quite a good interaction with health providers, service providers. You could have a reasonable interaction with anybody to do with employment, the job you do, the way you're doing that job. And if there's been any problems, then this tendency for Venus to moderate and bring some equilibrium and harmony will be helping there. There's likely to be a female figure, or if not a female, then somebody you've got a bond with, somebody that you are maybe close to, who is going to be an enabler for you in this area here, whether it's to do with work, whether it's to do with health. And maybe they will extend a resource of some kind to you, which is going to help you in those areas there. Also, I mean, you could meet somebody connected to that sort of mundane, everyday, you know, working environment or health type environment. So socializing could be part of that particular setup, which isn't obvious, but it can happen. So it's likely to be that if you got work, as Venus rules money, it could pay off quite well. if you're willing to put your effort and energy into it. But it's likely too that others will appreciate your contribution more with Venus here. Now, until the 8th, Mars is demanding, well, Mars is kind of driving you and pushing you to put more effort and decisiveness into getting organized materially and also with security matters, property matters. So the piggy bank, possessions of all kinds, a space, a venue, any bit of territory that is needs improvement, needs a motivated and decisive approach. Mars likes to initiate things, so Mars coming through you here would have you making the suggestions, but you got to watch your step, as always with Mars, because Mars can be a little bit hasty and you might be putting your hand in your pocket a little bit too impulsively. And that would overstretch your resources in some way or another. Also, this area is connected to your physical body as well, so just watch your step with that one too. But having said that, Mars here means that if you've been tolerating something for a long time, which is becoming sort of chronic, then Mars here can have you really pushing to get that physical thing sorted out. And then from the 8th, Mars launches into this mega transit of Libra, where it will be until next July, a very long transit, 8-month transit in your solar communications sector. And so that will fire up the way that you want to express yourself. And it's a good time for educational type pursuits, developing yourself on that communications level, so speaking, writing, or through any other medium of self-expression, signing up for a class in something, taking a course in something. You could also feel with this Mars transit here more competitive, more aware of the competition. Mars likes to compete. So you could be, getting the message out there in a more forceful kind of a way. But as long as you realize that Mars can come across as a little bit too aggressive, then you maybe need to soften your tone a little bit, because you won't maybe realize that you're doing it. Comings and goings are likely to increase, more sort of moving around in a locality, or maybe over the wires as well, and you firmly in the stream of information exchange. Mars here can also help you to listen, to learn how to listen. We're never taught how to listen. It's all about, getting something off your chest and getting it out there, which this Mars transit will underpin. But actually also dynamic listening is a great thing to be doing with Mars here. And not leaping into the conversation before somebody's sort of finished, really, and being too defensive, because that's another thing that Mars can do. So just keeping lines of communications open and not wasting energy on wondering what somebody else's motivations are, or laying blame or whatever. And also Mars here can help you to connect with, make new connections with people. It's a very sociable area here. Be quite dynamic and really chase up people or chase after things. So Mars can have you flying hither and thither mentally and physically. But you should start to feel more confident about certain things and able to make certain decisions, and you can be very proactive and successful. Particularly through media, promotional activity, and that kind of thing. Now, especially watch out for hasty thinking in the second half of December, maybe from about the 20th onwards, because Mars will be spinning over the degrees of Uranus and Pluto, and that's a restless energy. That means changes in the air, and if you've been striving for creative improvements, then the potentially disruptive effects of this transit will just be transmuted into something desirable. But you've got to be flexible, and at best you'll express yourself more freely and confidently, but try not to speculate too wildly. Try not to get stressed out because your mind is just going, the wheels of your mind are just going berserk. And also at the very end of the month, when the Sun goes over Pluto, there could be some kind of letting go of an old, letting go or breaking down a little bit of a routine or a system or something, and then a picking up the threads in a different kind of way. But it's such a fleeting aspect, it's only going to be affecting you over a couple of days, so it's not going to be anything absolutely huge. From the 22nd, it's time for you to be more useful. You'll be more in the mood to be of service to others, in more practical ways, and showing your power like that, and others will tend to appreciate what you're doing. But the energy goes more into basic stuff like maintenance, repairs, and just you using your skills. So yeah, dealing with the to-do list. Because of the position of Jupiter in your solar chart in a long transit until next July, then inner work, background work, in the wings activities are going to be where you learn and grow. Letting go and forgiving might be a good choice. Tying up loose ends from the past. Just sorting out that sort of stuff. You've got Saturn at the very root of your chart as well, and that's also about the past. That's also about quite a sensitive, quite an emotional area, and about old baggage, old patterns. So this is your opportunity to kind of clear up as much as you can. This is also a good time to be going in for imaginative work. Maybe recording your dreams, or just recording your thoughts and feelings on things, given the position that Mars is going to be in for such a long time as well, and anything to do with healing and spirituality. So getting on with things in this kind of incubation area of your solar chart, which is going to expand your inner world, would be a good thing to be doing with Jupiter here. And you Leos born between the 7th to the 13th of August, or with 15 to 21 degrees rising, are going to feel this energy the most this month. Saturn, as I've mentioned, is in a long cycle of challenging you to work harder at family relationships, and getting along with others within a neighborhood, within a community, both of which you may feel limited and a bit squeezed by. And anything that you've just been tolerating regarding these areas and the domestic setup, place on the map, locality, that will now be needing your attention and biting the bullet, and a blast from the past could mean that you've really got to just get that cleared up now, and get things more on an even keel. And maybe you feel something lacking regarding the family, the place on the map, property, neighborhood, and feel frustrated because of that as well. And so that is the trigger for you to reach for something better. And you Leos born between the 8th and the 13th of August, or with 16 to 21 degrees rising, are to feel that energy the most this month. And Saturn, Neptune and Jupiter excuse me, are in positions, are all in water signs, and are positioned in your chart related to this kind of area: family, community, things that are unfinished from the past, things that have been mysterious in the past maybe, and are going to promote a new level of understanding and more insight as you handle things in a sort of more sensitive way, or bring an abstract ideal into reality, something you've always wondered about and then exploring and finding out the truth behind it all. And you could benefit also by pursuing a more spiritual or nurturing, because this is also going to really help with your healing as well, with the position of Venus where she is. So healing energies and lots going on behind the scenes, something growing, something developing, something coming together, something healing behind the scenes. And that's it for December. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, then if you listen to those, it may give you a more rounded view of what I said here. And also, if you want to know what the outer planets are doing, then and which degree of your sign they may be affecting, go to my website, that's written up there. And I hope you have a lovely time over the festive season, whatever you're doing, and I will see you before the new year.